Greetings. Hope this finds you well. So I was on Twitter earlier, as I am wont to do occasionally, and I saw that Cornel West is now running as an independent to become the next president of the United States. Who was trying to become the Green Party nominee there for, wasn't super long, right? Maybe, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 months, if that. And then before that, he was associated with the People Party. So a few changes have obviously happened, and now he's running as a independent. Here's the little video he put out. Even like the label changed, because before it was like looked more like a Green Party label with his head and like, green and whatnot. So here we go.
We need you to be part and parcel of wrestling with this corporate duopoly, this two-party system that impedes, it gets in the way of the unleashing of the kind of policies of abolishing poverty and homelessness, of dealing with working wages, cutting back on militarism, and most importantly, trying to ensure that the best of who we are as a people can be more manifest, can be more concrete, because the crisis is real and these catastrophes are bombarding us. Please
For sure.
come join us.
There's the website, and his platform has also changed. So that's pretty interesting. There's his campaign manager. Said there's no true democracy in America when the two ruling parties actively work to prevent voters from having choices. Would you accept a restaurant with only 2 rotten items on the menu? Of course not. Fight for justice, fighting the duopoly. I guess, yeah, the only real question is does it make sense from a political perspective? I guess you were only a Green Party candidate for a short time, and then switching again. The detractors, or maybe people in the general, would say, well, he's making all these changes. Who's to say that if he was elected, then he wouldn't become just a Democrat or something like that? That's probably would be the pushback that's out there. But I actually think his platform, compared to what it was before, is quite a bit better than he didn't the platform before, when he was running as a Green candidate, was only a few paragraphs. You could go back and look at a video I made about that to get the receipts, but really really strong. Wealth tax, I mean, you could just that's going pretty lightly, but I mean, still something. National $27 minimum wage with special considerations for specific geographies. 6 months of full paid parental leave. I would like to see more, but that's a good start. Ensuring family sustaining and living wages for all disability benefits, which is really good, because people on disability right now, it's like $1,000 or $1,200 a month. It's a poverty wage. National jobs program to ensure full employment. Worker co-ops. Eliminating coverage gaps for housing. Break up monopolies, including big tech. Ban corporate stock buybacks. Ban stock trading for government officials. There's a lot of that going on both sides, though. Establish a workers' bill of rights, includes the end of right to work states. Good. Greater protections for workers who attempt to unionize. Requirement for all nonprofits to allow the unionization of workers and collective bargaining. 4-day work week. There we go. End all pay discrepancies based on race, gender identity, disability status, etc. National free pre-K, 100%. Nationalize fossil fuel industry and acknowledge and declare climate emergency. Immediate cessation of oil and gas leasing projects on federal lands and waters. codify prior and informed consent for Indigenous people, end water privatization. Health justice, go beyond Medicare for all towards true health justice. Habeas corpus healthcare, free healthcare for any and all residents, 100%. Would save so many lives. There no longer be people going bankrupt because of medical debt. There'd be no longer people delaying care, not getting care at all because they couldn't afford it, didn't have enough insurance or insurance at all. Nationalize the healthcare industry, including the pharmaceutical industry. There you go. And medical part-time, protect increased rights for people with disabilities. End the war on drugs and associated collateral damage on families and communities. Jimmy Dore would like this. Establish a COVID-19 commission to deliver justice for populations disproportionately impacted by the pandemic. Pretty good, pretty strong. Reparations commission and mass incarceration, codify voting rights for all incarcerated people. Just because you're locked up doesn't mean you shouldn't be able to vote. That's ridiculous. Address the disproportionate mortality rate for Black pregnancies. Require public review commissions for every police force in the nation. Pretty strong. Full use of federal forces to investigate and the epidemic of missing and murdered Indigenous women. Shut down Cop City and plans for similar facilities across the nation, and mass incarceration in the PIC. Distribute police funding to unarmed community-led forces, and just programs of social uplift in general. That's what makes communities safe, not having more police. Eliminate crowded prison facilities by developing alternatives to incarceration. Abolish the use of solitary confinement. Good. It's a form of torture. Investigate and sentence discrepancies based on race, ethnicity, and class. Ban the death penalty, life without parole, 3 strikes, mandatory minimums. There we go. Center public schools and reduce the need for charter schools. Yeah, and the nexus of quality education tax base, and the reason why a public school in Beverly Hills should be better than a public school in Lowndes County, Alabama. Free tuition for all state and community colleges. Minimum wage of $80,000 for all U.S. public teachers K through 12. It actually used to be, I forgot what I was listening on. Might have been a Chris Hedges interview. Him or his guests were talking about how the teaching profession, public teaching, K through 12, actually used to be a fairly well compensated profession, not so much anymore. Cancel student loan debt, codify the use of race, ethnicity, and class for admissions. Abolish state laws that limit to remove the full and accurate study of U.S. history. Increase federal funding for HBCUs and tribal colleges and universities. LGBTQIA plus justice, and the war on unnecessary and dangerous assault on transgender people, 100%. Gender affirming standards of care for trans people in public life and institutions. Codifying equal rights amendment for LGBTQI plus U.S. residents. National ban on any and all so-called don't say gay laws and other anti-LGBTQI plus laws. Gun violence. And again, like the gun violence thing is very, very sad and tragic. But when you have a profoundly sick society as the United States is, it's just a natural result that you're going to have that type of, reactionary violence when there's so much alienation on so many levels. And I mean, the U.S. is a settler colonial state. It was founded on violence and enslavement and the attempted genocide of indigenous people here, not to mention our foreign policy, right? Just death and destruction abroad. That shit's gonna come back here. So you take care of people's material needs, the violence won't be there, at least to the extent that it is now, for sure. Immigration justice, mass investment transforming to create a broad legal pathway. There we go. Compassion, morality, dignity, ethics. Yeah, no separation of families, no kids in cages. Just Had to get Trump out of office because they're getting, not gonna be kids in cages with Biden there. Oh, it's not true. Abolish ICE. There we go. Demilitarize the southern border. Good. Dismantle the U.S. empire. Slash the bloated U.S. military budget. Disband NATO. AFRICOM, etc. Global cooperation in lieu of full spectrum dominance. I like that. Cease all war funding, weapons to Ukraine. Invest in peacemaking. There we go. Cease military funding in the state of Israel. End Israeli apartheid. End Israeli apartheid Palestinian people. Impress you and establish a program for Palestinian dignity and liberation. There we go. It's pretty damn solid. Cancel all IMF World Bank debts for so-called developing nations, especially nations on the African continent. No intervention, military otherwise, in Haiti. End the Cuba embargo normalizations by moving from the state-sponsored terrorism list. Truth and Reconciliation Commission for U.S. Intervention in Central America, South America, Africa, and Asia. I didn't go over all the points there, but pretty damn strong platform. A lot more depth and breadth there than when he was running as a Green and what he had on the website then. So pretty interesting. Maybe perhaps not the best timing politically, or maybe they did it because, well, RFK is going to announce he's running as independent. Let's take some of the energy and put it towards us, when frankly Cornel West's platform quite a bit better than RFK's, and Cornel West also isn't a supporter of the apartheid state of Israel, which RFK is. And I don't know, for me that is a deal breaker. That is a deal breaker. So what do you think? West now running as a independent, his platform has been expanded upon. What do you think? Let me know down below. Does this help? Does this hurt his chances? Does it make it more likely he's going to get votes running as an independent? Should he have stayed a Green? Let me know down below. Peace. Much love. All part of the people.